Hi there, Arnout. Which part of Netherlands are you in?
I'm from the south, but the Netherlands are so small, I don't know if it makes any difference which part I'm actually from, because I think it's 200 kilometers wide and 300 to 400 kilometers long.
So you know where I am. I'm on the west coast of India, a place called Mumbai.
Yeah.
Maybe as big as Netherlands. I don't know.
Could very well be. How many people are there in Mumbai?
Don't ask me. We've got a floating population. People come in and go because it's a financial capital. So we don't know how many are total residents over here. However, come September, you might see me in Netherlands with you.
Yeah. Wow. What will bring you here?
Well, I'll visit my son in Paris and then hop on to Italy and Netherlands. And I got friends there and there you are. There you are in Netherlands. So
yes. So keep me posted.
Of course.
Of your itinerary.
Yeah, and I'll ensure that your mother, I will definitely meet because she is into Indian yoga and Indian Ayurveda.
Yes, very much so.
And we are going to talk about healthcare, right, Arno, today?
Yeah, we will.
Let me do my formalities of introducing you, although everybody knows you. But then I have to do my formalities. So here we go. Arnold, how do you pronounce your surname?
Orelio.
Orelio, so let me get it right. Arnout Orelio.
Yeah,
Arnout Orelio, this is episode 16 of Dr. M, right? And series 1, which I started somewhere around in September, is based on the curiosity that I had as to whatever way you want to implement continuous improvement, why are we not able to support and sustain it? And that's the basic theme of support and sustaining it. So we have gone through 15 episodes, and what I'm doing is learning from people like you in various sectors, not only engineering, but also in hotel sector, where I had Robertson Hunter with me from Paris. Well, I did walk over to South Korea too with DJ Kim, but all started with episode 1 with Mark Deluzio, who is my mentor on Lean. And you have seen the rest of the episodes with me. So this is the area of my curiosity, and thanks for being with me. And we're talking about the health sector. And we're going to talk about health sector, and we're going to say it's not different. It's not different when it comes to continuous improvement, leadership, excellence, and you can put whatever adjectives that you want to it, but it's not different at all. And that's what we're going to talk, or you're going to tell me about it, right, Arnold?
Yes, let's do a dialogue, because
yeah, it's going to be a dialogue. Okay. So.
I'm not suggesting that I'm in any way the expert, but I have quite some experience thus far. So yes, let's discuss whether it is or whether it's not different, and then how or why not. Yeah.
Game on. And you are amazing. You are an author of 2 books in English, which you told me that is an English translation from Dutch, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, and I did the translations both myself.
Wow. So how many books have you got now? 3 in Dutch and 2 in English, or 2 in Dutch?
No, well, depends on how you count. I've written 2 in Dutch actual books, which I translated in English. And beside that, I wrote a little ebook. It's called Passport to the Gemba. And it's 30 pages full of coaching questions that help you to know what to do when you're at the Gemba. So whenever you're on the shop floor.
I saw that in your post. Wasn't that a red color passport?
Yes, and it's a red color passport because that's the color of the passports here in the Netherlands. So that's the Dutch version, but I have made an English version as well. And that one is blue, like the passports of, I don't know, the UK or the US. I'm not sure which one I picked, but
it's Indian, all right. We have got a Navy blue passport, so I turn it to India, right?
Yes, it's an Indian passport. Yes, yes, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I won't stop taking credit to India, right? Including your Indian relationship with your mother, okay?
Yes.
So I'm not going to spare you that. You tell me, Arnold, and this was a question that was asked to you by Mark Garbin also, that what is the engineer doing in the health sector? We can talk about it. And then it's quite amazing that you did mechanical engineering, a master's in technology management, and later into marketing.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's so I've always been interested in understanding organizations and systems and how everything is connected. And because of that, I started my career in the automotive industry. And as you know, that's one of the places where, well, we find the earliest examples of how to continuously improve your processes and how to do it in a way that is not burning out the people. I think it's important to start our conversation with the fact that continuous improvement for me is always immediately paired with respect for people or respect for humanity. Because you can, so sorry.
With you on that. It always starts with respect for people, and as you rightly said, to see that the murray or the strain on the people is reduced, and therefore we come to the health sector, right? So let's see.
Exactly.
You all got an amazing, I don't know what to call you. Do I call you a lean leader, a lean mentor, a health ambassador?
I like the word mentor.
Mentor, right?
So, and for sometimes as well, as a nickname, I call myself Sunday Sensei.
Sunday Sensei.
Sunday Sensei, because I believe a sensei should never call himself sensei, because that's I don't know, that's strange. But
no. The best I know is that the title is given by somebody else.
Yes, exactly. So just to joke with myself, I say Sunday Sensei. But I like the word mentor, because a mentor is somebody who's with you. He's there to help you based on his personal experience. So he's not just a coach who's there to get you through a method. He's there to, well, help you with whatever he can based on his experience in similar situations. And I think that's how I see myself, as somebody who is challenging people to leave their status quo, wherever that is, and start learning and use this learning to improve their processes for their customers. In my case, these are patients, or maybe a colleague doctor, or whoever you're working for.
You know, interestingly, since you said that about mentor, my sensei, as you know, is Sensei Masaki Mai.
Yeah.
And I got two mentors. I got a mentor in Mark Deluzio, who helps me out with better understanding of lean as understood in US. And because being an architect of Denver Business System, he knows ins and out. He's absolutely a Gemba guy. The second mentor that I have is my study of Deming. Now, that's a course, a 12-day active course. 12 days is a deceptive word. Henry Neal has named it 12 days, but I've just completed the 5th day. I don't know when I'm going to finish the 12 days, but it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So you started your career way back, I think, in 2016, 2006. No, 2016 was it? Or
No, there's several pivotal points in my career. So I graduated in 1995, and
1995? Okay.
then I start working in industry,
Mm-hmm.
and that taught me a lot. But the most two important things were hierarchy is not the way to get people to have people do what you want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's better ways to treat people or to go about leading people. And the other one is project management is just a trick. If you know how to structure the project and if you keep your customers informed before shit happens, then you find always a way to make it a profitable project. And I find that these two conclusions a bit disappointing because I like to be challenged.
Okay.
And I thought that
Now you hold on. Don't expect me to let you go that fast, because I'm
okay,
going
go
to
ahead.
challenge you at every point, right? So I am
Yes, go ahead.
looking at you as an author who's doing lean thinking. You are a mentor. I don't know, you're an author, mentor, lean thinker. So let me see where we go. And the topic that we are going to talk about today, and we're going to have a dialogue and not a discussion, because dialogue is one-to-one when we exchange our ideas, and
Exactly.
we're very careful using this English words called discussion. So we're going to have dialogue on healthcare. It's not different when it comes to continuous improvement, right? And therefore, you're on Dr. M's vodcast, implement, support, and sustain. But we are going to talk about supporting and sustaining the continuous improvement processes, the challenges that you face in health sector.
Yeah, sure.
Here
So
we go.
that's
All yours.
yeah, yes. So what I was trying to tell you. So I started in industry. I became because I didn't like hierarchy. I became a consultant because then you're free to discuss on any level. And then when I became a consultant and was into this thing that was then at the time started to call it lean. Beforehand, they called it world-class manufacturing and all those other terms. And I discovered, well, when it's a system and a set of principles, it has nothing to do with industry. It has nothing to do with a factory, or it has nothing to do with the fact that it originated from companies like Toyota. And when I found that out, then I said, so why not apply this in healthcare? And I had three very good reasons to want to do this. And the first one is very simple. I'm a father. I have three sons, and I explain when you have sons, you sometimes end up in a hospital because they break their arm or they break their leg or whatever. And when I visited these hospitals, I felt a bit appalled by the lack of systems that would assure me that they would do the right thing and they would take good care of my children. And so that was, I thought there must be a better way to manage a hospital, better than what I'm currently experiencing as a father. And about that time, there was, a lot of words in the news about an earlier research from the Institute of Medicine in the US, which was To Err is Human, was it called? And it suggested that in the United States, over 100,000 people a year were died avoidably in US hospitals. And there was a Dutch president of Shell, the oil company, who used that report to do a research and a study within Dutch hospitals. Mm-hmm. and he found similar things. So now I had my personal experience. I had the data that said that there was a big problem. And then third, which was the most positive one, is I was called by somebody from an institution for people with an intellectual disability. And she said, I can't find any quality management theories or methods based in healthcare. Are you maybe able to help me with yours while they're not from healthcare? And I said, why not? So what I did is I used all my training materials and methods and tools that I developed we developed as a company for industry. And I taught them one-on-one to these people that were social workers and caretakers, and so people, you could say. And they did an amazing job of translating that to their own work, and they did a spectacular improvement project based on things that.
Give me some examples of the.
So what I did is I explained to them that there's two ways to know whether your process is performing. And the one way is feedback. So what you do is you find out at the end of the process whether you got the results you wanted. And I said, and that's I gave a picture of process industry. So what would happen if you maybe make a drink, like, or chemical products? And I said, and the other way to improve your process and to know what you're doing is to do feed forward. So what you do is you try to find out and understand your process that well that you know how to set your inputs. And whenever your input is changing, you set it back to the standard. So it's feed forward. Before you get an issue in your process, you make sure that you standardize and reset your inputs. And how they translated it for themselves is so the things happening, their inputs were their preconceptions and their how they thought about their clients. So and what they try to do is, because their clients were well, they had intellectual disabilities, so maybe they had an IQ of between 50 and 70.
They were mentally challenged.
Sorry?
They were mentally challenged, right?
Yes, they were mentally challenged. And but they were also adolescents. So they were around 17, 18 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And what happened is, from time to time, quite often, they had to be put in timeout. And timeout is a separate room with mattresses against the wall. So if they became aggressive, then they couldn't damage anyone or anything. But of course, that was their current countermeasure for young people being aggressive. And due to my training, they rethought the root cause of this aggression. So before they said the aggression is caused by this young person who is mentally challenged. But after the training, they start thinking, okay, what are the inputs that causing this person to become aggressive? And they found out that there was that had a lot to do with how they thought about them, or how they approached them, or whether they asked a question or gave an assignment, and then it changed completely the way they took care of these young people.
Arnout, let me paraphrase what you're saying so that I want to understand exactly what you said. That when you went to these people who were looking after the mentally challenge people who were in their adolescence in 14, 16, 17. They found some sort of an aggressive behavior from them. And what they were doing before you came in, that they were perceiving what they are without any tools per se. And they were only guessing that this would be something to do with their mental state or what have you. And therefore, when they became aggressive, they would put them into a sort of a solitary confinement. And because they didn't want them to be physically hurt, they would give a mattress to cushion it. But after you came in, you gave them the tools so that they could analyze the root cause. Am I understanding you correctly?
Yes, exactly. Okay. Because, well, putting people in this timeout, that's symptom treatment, because it's already too late. So, and I gave them the tools and made them understand how to analyze root cause based on training material for process industry. So I found that found it very interesting, but also very encouraging, because apparently it had nothing to do with the type of process.
I want that a little clarification on that. I'm just out of curiosity.
Yeah, go ahead.
What sort of a structured problem-solving method did you teach them? I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you. So I'm going to challenge you to know what
it's been a while, so not sure whether it's what they did is some kind of high-level process mapping. Some people call it CPOC.
Yeah.
So it means that you know, okay, who are the suppliers, what inputs do they provide, what are the main process steps, and what are the outcomes, and what is the value of the process. And just by doing that, they never had mapped their process or even defined their process in any way, because it was human to human. They thought their activities were the process. But there was way more. There were way more things happening than. And this helped also to because they discovered. And the other thing was we used what's it called? Well, the 5 times why.
5 analysis.
5 why analysis, and we combined it with a fishbone.
Yep.
And this way, but the most important thing is, like in any tool, is they start speaking with their clients.
Yeah.
About what they experienced. And they found out that one of the and they start observing the situation in the groups. And they found out that they were causing a lot of chaos. So one of the things we did some people would call it a Gemba walk, but I went with them to the groups and I asked all kind of questions. And my main observation was that it was quite chaos on the compound. So these people were living on a compound, and I was just thinking, if people have chaos in their head, what will happen if they have chaos in their environment as well?
Physical environment.
Yes, physical environment. And that opened their eyes, but also in the care environment, because they found out that these people were seeing a lot of different caretakers. And what they did, one thing they did is they stopped working with a temp office, and they hired people on a fixed contract. So they had a fixed, they had a set group of people every time helping the same clients. So they could build up a relationship, and these clients were not confronted every day with another person.
Amazing. Yeah, I can understand. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can understand what you're saying, that as it is, the person is not comfortable. And then when you start changing the people that they are interacting, the relationship is not built up. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, for instance, but just the fact that you work one day you're taken care of by Marie and the next day by Paul, that means that you have to remember two names. And maybe Paul is a bit more a funny guy, and maybe Marie is more serious. Then now you have to adapt to two different personalities. And these are people which are mentally challenged. So that means that it costs them a lot of energy just to just to be helped by another person.
Yeah.
But they never, and this is a big, this is one of the problems in healthcare, I think. They never thought that their process would be causing the problems. They always thought that it's all about their clients, and their clients, they're just their clients, and they are like this. So that was quite a revolution in
the thinking of the
of the team
taking care.
So, and this, they say then the rest is history. So I had a personal experience. There was proof that healthcare was badly performing and even killing people where they didn't need to. And there is already a better way, which we now call lean or continuous improvement or whatever. And this better way works in healthcare. That was the moment I decided, okay, this will be my mission. I will start teaching this way of improvement in healthcare.
Okay.
So, and that was around 2005. So it's about 17 years ago.
Tell me, what are the wow moments where you said, yes, lean works in healthcare, and some of your achievements in the healthcare sectors? Plus, it's always good to also know when you implemented, what are the various challenges you faced?
Yes. So yes, there's many because
this is new to the health sector, and you were in. So what were the hurdles that you, speed breakers, hurdles, whatever you want to call it, and the success story? Yeah,
I will. So it's not a coincidence that I had to name this podcast, why healthcare is not different, but not between brackets. Because although I was convinced, and this one client was convinced, healthcare in general was not convinced, and maybe still is not convinced, that they need something from outside, like an outside view or an outside approach, or to heal them. And that has to do with several things, hurdles as you call them, that you might want to overcome. And the first and the most important, which makes it difficult, is there's little to no problem awareness. So they don't know that their processes are broken because they don't think in processes. So when you're educated, like a medical doctor or nurse, you learn almost only about the content of your work or the substance of your work. And you learn a little bit about how to structure things, but mostly structuring the work and making protocols that's done by well, by the outside, by how will you call it, by the administrative part of healthcare.
Yeah.
So you have as a group of people, nurses and doctors, they do the content. Around there, you have an administrative group of people and maybe some advisors, and you have health issuers and departments and all kind of people that want to structure and control what happens on the shop floor.
Yep.
But there's little to no knowledge about how to get everything right the first time where the patient needs it. So
Arnold, I'll stop you there because I'm very interested in this. So you have the patient, which we call the client. You have the doctor who is actually delivering the value, right? Yes, and then you have a periphery of administrators who are providers. Providers to the doctors.
Yeah, to the doctors and the nurses, yes.
Yeah, so, and the nurses and the doctors are the persons who is really adding value.
Exactly.
And the administrators are providers, facilitators, supposed to be.
Yes, yeah.
But the biggest problem with the providers, whether in health sector or any other sector, is that they have the power to say no.
Exactly.
When like for example, even a service provider, you're dependent on the service provider and you say, I want this. The first thing that they do is say, no, I can't. And although they can, but they make a lot of fuss about it because they have the kingdom of their own. And they work in silos like they work everywhere in any other sectors. Am I understanding you right in the health sector?
Yes, so yes, in that sense, it looks a lot like other sectors. But what is missing and what I found that is better organized in like industry, in industry, at least you have something like a process or a production engineer or if you're responsible for production, you're responsible for all of production.
Yes.
So that means that you at least know your process from the input to the output. So from the raw materials till the finished project. And there's people whose job it is to make this as efficient and accurate and reliable as possible.
Mm.
And in healthcare, this is separate. So there's people who think, oh, okay, which step do we need to take in what order? But these are mostly for the content. These are doctors who do that. They say, okay, you need to have an X-ray, and after the X-ray, I'm going to bring you to another department, and there you get a cast. When the cast is, and after 6 weeks, I will remove the cast. But how you flow to X-ray, to the casting, these people are not. This flow is managed by the patient. So the patient is actually the only one who knows all steps. And how they're performing.
True, I can understand that. I can relate to that because I got my left knee operated. I know what you're exactly talking about because the doctor operated my knee, and the rest was left to me to go to one place to the other.
Yeah, exactly. So these silos are not only per department, but there's even each separate step in the same process is from another person, and they're not connected.
Mm.
So they're being connected by the patient. And that's where we lean thinkers can add a lot of value, if we can help them see what the flow is and help them, teach them that they need to define and maintain and improve the flow of the patient. And that is quite difficult, because when you go to when they teach you about production management and you become a production manager, at least you learn about these things. But when you become a manager in a hospital, their education is way more focused on how you organize things, which is different from how you process things. So this is one of the hurdles that because they don't know what they don't know. It's very difficult to explain what they're missing. The other thing is that, so I added over about problem awareness, which is difficult, and I still see it now in healthcare. We have a lot of issues with what we call staff shortages. But staff shortages is not a problem. It's a solution disguised as a problem.
You have to repeat.
So that,
I'm sorry.
so staff shortages are not a problem.
Yeah.
They are a solution disguised as a problem, because the solution is clear: more staff.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem. But they feel it as a problem because they were never taught how to define a problem, let alone that you need to figure out the root cause first before you can solve it. And so this is, but maybe this is not specific for healthcare, but it seems like they try to solve their issues with the same thinking that caused them. So would Einstein say.
Yeah.
So this is also, it also makes it very difficult to to help install a culture of continuous improvement, because it means that you have to start with changing the thinking. But changing the thinking can only be done by doing different things, because you cannot change the thinking by teaching them. So, and then we come maybe a bit of what I feel to be one of my achievements, if only little, is to solve this puzzle of what comes first. How do I change the mindset from the beginning without doing a project first? Because they're not going to do the project when their mindset is not changed. So I had this catch-22.
Yeah.
And what I did is I developed a metaphor. And I told you about it. It's it's in both my books. It's the second chapter. It's called The Story of the Boat. And this is you could say, my signature story. And it's explaining how we traditionally try to solve our problems and how that is causing us problems and extra costs, etc. And then I start with the same metaphor. I explain them how with lean thinking, we can solve these problems and be more effective. And within half an hour, people's mindset shift, because they start to understand that they need to change their problem solving method. And then if they understand that they need to change their method, it's way easier to sell to them that they maybe need some help by learning a new method. And then you can start an A3 project or whatever you like to call your method.
Okay, here's a challenge for you, Arnold.
Yeah, go.
In the next 5 minutes, can you change my mindset? You got a flip chart at the back. Give me the story of the boat.
Yes, I try to.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes. Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah, sure.
thank you for thank you for challenging me.
And rest be assured, I'll give you feedback whether you change my mind or not.
Okay. So let me make sure that do we have enough light?
Yeah, you're perfectly clear. You're perfectly clear. No problems.
Okay. So okay, go ahead.
Let's hear the story, Arnold.
So yes, let's tell a story. Okay. Let me see.
I'm sorry,
well,
we never did this in the prep. You told me to challenge you. I'm challenging you. Tell me the boat story in 5 minutes.
Yes, I will. I'm preparing. No worries. But I need all kind of colors. Okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
Can you see me now? Yeah.
Yeah, very clearly.
Okay.
Tell the story. I will not interrupt you.
Yes. Okay. So, Dr. M, here you have our boat. We just bought a boat. So what is the purpose of a boat? It's a steamer. Sorry for that. So no climate change measures yet. So what is the purpose of a boat? So can you tell me? You need to respond. It's an interactive story.
Sure. I'll respond. The purpose of the boat is to ferry from one place to the other.
Yeah, exactly. From A to B with passengers or packages or whatever. Yeah. Yes. So what does the boat need to do that?
Well, you require some manpower. You require power. You require manpower.
Okay,
you require a boat. You require power. You require steam.
Yeah, but we have already a boat. But what is the minimum we need to have the boat sailing?
Minimum that you require for a boat to sail is that I don't know where you're coming from, but at least the engine should work, right?
We need water.
Oh my God! Oh, you caught me. Oh, you got.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we need water. So then the question is, how much water? Just I have only 5 minutes, so I will help you. Just below the keel.
Yeah.
Because we have a little waves, so just below the keel. So this is the needed water, or in lean terms, the value added water. This is the water. This is the water we need.
Which is between the curved line and the straight
between
line.
The green line and the water line.
Yeah, I can't see the color, but I can tell you it is straight line and the wave line.
Yes, exactly. Okay, it's great. Okay,
that's the gap.
Yes, that's the gap. That's the water we always need. We can't do with less because then we would hit the bottom. But we have way more water, and that's because we have this kind of bottom. And there's all kind of things in Amsterdam. There's a bike in the water, in the canal, and or maybe there's somebody dropped the package here. I don't know. There's all kind of rubbish and things on the bottom that makes us need more water. So this water is there to cover our problems. We need that because we have problems. And these problems we call waste.
Okay.
Because all this water is waste on our problems. It's not there to have the boat sail. It's there to cover the bottom. So what is our biggest concern as an owner of the boat? What's your biggest concern as an owner of a boat?
To have adequate depth of water.
Yes, exactly. So whenever there, and in any traditional company, in most companies, what happens is when we are close to the bottom or we think we might crash, what do? we add extra water. So we add extra people, or we make an extra warehouse, or we increase our budgets to make sure that we're not getting stuck. Yes, exactly. So, but whenever we put extra water in, the water level rises.
Yeah.
And when the water level rises, we need higher dikes.
Higher?
And higher dikes.
Yeah.
So, and the dikes, these are our overhead.
Yes.
Or some would say support.
Yeah.
Literally support departments.
Yeah.
So like finance and administration and personnel department and maintenance. All these people are here to keep the water in the canal or in the river. And a higher dike also needs to be wider. And that means that if you keep doing this, well, our costs will rise. But the ship will stay the same.
True.
And the percentage of our budget that goes to overhead will increase.
Yep.
So we get a more and more bureaucratic organization.
Yeah.
And another thing that happens is because this is the society, if a dike breaks, then we flood the rest of our community. Yeah, so we don't want that. So we do dike inspections. And we make procedures to make sure that the maintenance is on the dikes. And the owner of the ship, where does he have his office? Here. So the problem is, the bigger the organization, the bigger the dikes, the bigger the distance from the office, from the head office, HQ,
to the boat.
Yep. And that means that whenever there's a problem here, they can't do anything else than add extra water because they have no idea what's happening here.
True.
And there's another reason for that, and that's because the people working here, they don't have any authority. So that means that they are trained that whenever they have a problem, they shout up to the management. We need more staff. We need more. We need more inventory. We need more warehouses. And because they can't spend any money. And they think that every solution takes money because they don't know what's going on. They just want to, because they say, keep moving. So they are not allowed to stop here and analyze, they keep moving. Well, what's the problem here? Why is this the wrong way?
I'm learning from you. What I learned from you so far is that the water which you put in a straight mark, which is camouflaging all the non-value added stuff under that, is not seen by people outside your head office or whatever you call it. And they keep pumping in water because they refuse, either they don't see it or they refuse to see what is under the straight line.
Yes, exactly. So let's be optimistic. It's probably because they don't see it. They just don't know. But they are trained with the idea that they are there to manage the money and to do the important stuff, like talking to the inspection and I don't know. So what they are doing is they are most worried about their image
Yeah.
instead of the true problems. So they're more worried that the dike will break
Yeah.
than that the ship will hold.
Yeah.
Because if the dike breaks, well, then they get the mayor in their office, and they don't want that because they're friends with the mayor. So what's the alternative?
Oh, to me, the alternative is where you have the straight line and everything under that, somebody should clean that mess up.
Yes, we should clean that mess up. Yes, and sorry, we're way past my 5 minutes, but cleaning the mess up.
Yeah. Now,
yes.
Who is going to?
Who should clean?
Who
Yes.
will clean the mess up?
Who should clean the mess up? Yes. Well, the most common suggestion for that is that people say we need a dredging company.
Uh-huh.
So in corporate terms, consultants.
Yeah.
So what you do is, but the problem with consultants is what they do is they, well, first of all, you have to close the place because they want to, they're going to clean up the whole canal. So whenever they're cleaning, you can't work.
Yeah.
And although the most consultants, they just draw you a map of this and they say you need to clean it yourself.
Yeah, that's the reason they're called consultant. They do advise and audit, and they're not practitioners.
Yes, exactly. But suppose that they're that they will be like a dredging company and they will remove this.
Yeah.
So they say, oh, you can do here, you can do without 10 people. So what they do is they reorganize. But they don't change the process. And that's one problem. But the other problem is, who's learning when the consultants do the work?
Well, I don't know who is learning, because the people who are outside will never come inside to learn.
No, the only one who's learning are the consultants themselves.
Exactly. I agree.
So they go to another boating company and say, well, we're very experienced in cleaning up the mess. Can we do it for you as well? But it's one, there's no learning, and two, it's a one-off intervention. And that means that all the rubbish will get back into the canal. And then nobody knows how to remove it. So the most important, so who needs to clean up? The people who are leading.
Yeah.
Because they're responsible for cleaning up, but they should not do it alone. They should empower the people doing the work here to clean up. And what is needed for that? That they go underwater. So they dive into the water to be with the people doing the work, immerse themselves, and see what is going on.
I like the word immerse, that they should go there. I like this term because it's the water. So you have to immerse yourself and drench yourself along with those people over there to actually understand what is happening in the water.
Yes, exactly. And for this, you need different glasses. You need diving glasses.
Yes.
So you need a different way to look at your processes. Because when you look from the dike, you see way different things than when you're underwater. And underwater, everything is blurry, maybe. So you need diving goggles. And these diving goggles, they represent a new way of observing. Most known as the owner's circle. So you teach people to stand somewhere and observe like half an hour or maybe way longer. So they start to understand and see all the details.
It's way longer. I stood for 4 months. It's way longer.
Yes, okay. but we have to start somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
So the first half an hour is just for them to find out that observations, that their eyes need to be trained.
Yes.
So, and then we focus on the problems. Not everything is big of a problem. We need to solve the problems that are in the way of the boat.
Uh-huh.
So the boat is our patient flow in healthcare. And that means that you have to find out, okay, where is my flow stagnating? And that's the place you need to start observing, because you can't solve all your problems all at once. Because then you get overwhelmed, and then people don't have time for that, because you see they're very busy.
And the boat has to move.
And the boat, yes, exactly. The boat has to move. But to move the boat, you have to set it still.
Yes.
Interesting. One of the most counterintuitive principles of lean management is that you have to stop your process in order to have it moving.
True.
So, and then when you remove this rubbish or this bike here, you're not done yet, because then the question is, and it's also a question for this leader here, and not for the people doing the work. They need to have the boat sailing. What happened? Why is this bike here in the canal? Who threw it in, or where did it fall out? So we need to find the root cause of this rubbish, of the waste, and then solve it at the source. So maybe the bike dropped off the boat. Well, we may have to make a fence on the boat so it can drop off. Yes, so this is a story from the boat. Of the boat.
That's a lovely
Sorry,
story. That's a lovely. No. But
sorry about the 5 minutes, but
no. I'll give you another 2 minutes to tell me exactly what you did in health sector. Just in 2 minutes, what was those? Give me one example of that piece that you removed, so that the certain improvement was made in the health sector. Just one, please.
Yes. Okay. So
one example.
Yes, but I always think the results are my clients, so I have to think. Oh, what I did is so there is in the Netherlands we have public healthcare, and part of public healthcare is that we screen children at different ages to see whether they develop fast enough, whether they're growing, what their weight is, all these kind of things, to and get them vaccinated. So you could say preventative medicine. And the problem was that the doctors didn't have enough time. There was not enough water between the boat and the green line to see all their patients. So that we got waiting lists. But a waiting list is a big problem, because when you want to see a baby at 0, at 3 months, at 6 months, and at 9 months, for instance, well, if your waiting list is 2 months, that means that you see a baby in a way different development stage than you originally anticipated. So that's a big problem.
Yeah, you can't stop the Earth from going around the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what they did is they analyzed their process, and they did something. They designed a butterfly process, and that means that they looked at their activities, and they said which of these activities need to be done by a doctor and which could be also done by a nurse. And what they did is they cut their cycle time in half.
Yeah.
And added a nurse.
Yeah.
So now we have an extra nurse.
Yeah.
but the productivity of the doctors doubled.
Right.
And this way they solved the bottleneck. And of course, it costs some money because we have an extra nurse, but nurses are cheaper than doctors.
Yeah.
So it almost financed itself.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, because we have now a fixed nurse, this nurse who was also seeing the children and the parents in other phases without the doctor, now the parents have a set phase. They always see the same person.
Yeah.
Because the nurse is always there.
Yeah.
The doctors doubled their productivity.
Yeah.
With almost no extra cost. And the nurses got a more interesting job.
Exactly. That's job enrichment.
Yes, exactly. So when you look at waste or things that are not directly needed, in this case from the doctor, you can improve for all stakeholders.
It's all win-win.
Yes, there was no one who had to pay, despite except for a little bit extra budget, which could taken from the budget for hiring and trying to hire more doctors. The budget could be used to hire extra nurses, and then it was all set.
Yeah, so that productivity increases, their cash flow will increase. And so you have the ability to spend a little more.
Exactly. And most importantly, you get an accurate monitoring system for these babies, which was the most important thing, because now you can give them an appointment exactly at the age that you want to see them.
Well, thank you very much, Arnold. And I think, would you permit me to rename what we are doing? Can we call it the boat flow in health sector? The lean flow, the lean boat flow in health sector.
Yes, of course.
I don't know what caption you would like to put. What would you like to put? I love this boat story.
Yes, you can put anything. I'm just here to have a good time.
You are the owner. You're the guest. I can't do anything.
Yes, of course. But if you like it this much, who am I to make it too difficult? Yes, try to. Well, I think it's okay to change the title a bit.
So I'm going to stick to the title, but let's see what ultimately we can do. 1 minute. Sure. I give you just 1 minute and just sum it up for me. The lean in healthcare sector. The need the need now, and how lean consultants can help. Just give 60 seconds. That's all. I won't stretch it.
Yes. So currently, we are not capable of giving all patients what they need. And it's very important that we start understanding why that is. And it means that we need a different way to, one, look at how we do the work, and two, how we solve our problems. And this can only be done if we change the way we think. And changing the way we think is a leadership responsibility. So in the end, it all comes down to leaders, and a leader can be anybody who likes to change healthcare for the better. That leaders start to self-develop, changing their mindset, willing to understand how the work is really done, so they can remove the waste that is in there, helping more patients getting what they need. That would be my pitch for healthcare.
Lovely. Thank you very much. And I love the boat story, and it's going to stay because it's digital and it's going to stay. You have the footprints on that, Arnold. And thank you very much. You're the first person who has come and spoken to us about healthcare. So I have learned from it. And as usual, I will share it with the lean community. And I'm sure they will learn from you. And this is not the first time you're coming over here. Or rather, this is the first time you've come over here, but not the last time. So there are plenty more episodes that I'm going to listen from you. We'll listen on specific things on different episodes. And I look forward to you meeting you again on Dr. M. Watt.
Yes. I liked it very much. I liked it very much. So thank you for inviting me, and welcome to invite me once again some other time to maybe explore some other aspects of how important it is to change healthcare for the better.
Thank you very much. I'm sure we'll do that. And my invitation is always open to you to come to India.
Yes.
And I will be coming to Netherlands, right? Take care,
yes, sure.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
And please look after the health sector, not only in Netherlands, and spread the word around, as I'm going to do with this episode. So I'm going to put it on YouTube and LinkedIn and let the community understand that this is being done in Netherlands by Arnout. Thank you very much,
yes.
Arnout.
Okay, yes. So thank you too. And I hope that well, people are willing to try out my books, because I can't help you all at once. But I like to tell my story, so read my books and tell me what you think.
Sure. I'll spread the message around, and I'm sure they will like it, and they will love the boat story. I'm sure we have done a good job. I love the boat story. Thank you very much.
Very good.